This stuff I keep near the top of my med pack. 2 is 1 and 1 is none. You need something to sleep under, in, and on. If you have a tent but you don't know how to set it up, that's not going to do you any good. If you have a water filter but you don't know how to use it, that's not going to do you any good. Actual skills are going to be way more important than any of this gear. This could be an awesome camping trip one day if you don't ever use this for survival gear. I am Sydalexandria, and today we are going to be going over survival gear, survival supplies, bug out bags, prepper stuff. And if you know me, you know I'm into astrology and aliens and this awakening that's happening on the planet. And if you're not into that, that's totally fine, because we're not talking about any of that in this video. We're talking about how being prepared for a natural disaster, for an apocalyptic situation, for literally anything, a shit hits the fan situation. This is the video. And I have all of my survival gear laying out right now, minus my canning stuff and things of that nature, and like my portable laundry machine. Let's say most of the survival gear is right here. This is the bug out bag stuff. And there's quite a few backpacks. There's a couple duffels. There's a couple boxes, and this collection is hopefully only going to grow as time goes on, and I don't want you guys to feel like you have to go out and buy all of this stuff. Would that be nice if you're in the position to? Yes, but this is just about really knowing what's gonna come in handy if you have some extra of something that you have been slowly stockpiling up and you have an empty backpack. Simply put the stuff in the backpack, and that can go a long ways. Because even just with crazy weather, if there's a tornado coming and you have time to outrun it, if there's a fire coming, if there's a flood coming and you have time to outrun it, and that's the better option for you, you want to be able to grab a backpack and go. And I would love to do other videos on when should you grab your backpack and go, when should you hunker down, what's the best option. And so I guess, like I said, we'll talk about that in another video, but this video is about what's in my car, what's in my bedroom, what's in my basement, and this type of stuff is what makes a great Christmas or birthday present. I know my family members, if I give them a gift, usually it's something to add to their bug out backpacks, because I'm passionate about that. And heck, if you don't use it in an apocalypse, you can use it for an awesome camping trip one day. So there you go. And this is gonna kind of be a weird video to make. It's gonna take me a while. I was just unpacking stuff for about an hour, taking inventory, seeing what I have. Another important thing when it comes to making bug out backpacks, especially if you have multiple sets of backpacks, you want to have a document. I like to have it typed and then I'll print it off every once in a while, but I like it in like a Google Docs, because then I can go and edit it. Whereas if it were on paper, I would be crossing stuff out and writing arrows all the time. So I like it typed and then printed out. That's just my preference, but I like to know what exactly is in each backpack, because like I said, it just took me an hour to pull everything out, and I didn't even pull all of the little stuff out of each Ziploc baggie. We'll do that as we film the video, but I have a document that says big zipper, this, little zipper, this, zipper inside the big zipper, is it this, you get the picture. I have a basic survival gear backpack, and then I have a med pack, and then I have what I call an extra pack with more miscellaneous things that come in handy, and then I have a food pack with food that lasts a long time. I know what my phone is sitting on right now is a long grain white rice, honey powder, sweetly coated banana chips, and some salt, and they are in containers that are supposed to last a long time, and maybe in the future I will invest in something that can keep them good for even longer. Like I said, the food preservation is gonna be another video, but I'm gonna show you guys some of the gear that I have. That's what this video is gonna be about, and we'll do other videos about different stuff, but I think I'm gonna show you guys the set of backpacks, the stuff in the set that I have the most of. Not all of the sets have all of the same things. I have stuff in Ziploc baggies. For instance, this is a Ziploc baggie, and then sometimes there's little Ziploc baggies within the big Ziploc baggie, and that's one, to make it waterproof, but also two, to help better organize, because there is so many different little things in this backpack. It's not just all thrown in there, because I mean, one, what if it gets rained on? What if there's a flood or something? What if it gets wet? You want certain things protected so everything is not sopping wet. But then also, it's pointy stuff. So in this bag, I mean, we have a big knife. We have, I think these are wire cutters or bolt cutters, because they can come in handy in lots of different situations. You never know what you're gonna run into. And then this is like a hand chainsaw. You could cut down a tree with this. So yeah, you know, you wrap it around the tree. It's kind of self-explanatory, but there you go. And so that's the pointy stuff bag. This is the water stuff bag. And so there's a couple life straws in here. There is water purifying tablets, two different types, two different brands, because I have to experiment with them more. And then also I have antiox orbs. They, once you filter water, you can remineralize the water and add that magnesium and calcium and good things like that back into the water, because a lot of the minerals get filtered out if you filter them. So I have that to add the minerals back in, because especially in a shit hits the fan situation, you want to be well mineralized. And then, this is another water filter. I just have it in a separate bag because this is the Sawyer one, and it has more parts to it, and I wanted that better organized. I wanted to know the difference, you know? So then, where's my fire bag? Here it is. I have all of these in clear Ziploc bags. I know some people have like a red dry bag for fire, a blue dry bag for water, and things like that. This is stormproof matches, just your basic Bic lighters, because I had some extra and I was like, I have no use for them. I don't smoke anymore, so I threw some of my old Bic lighters in there. I have an electric lighter. That is what I usually use now because I am a eco-friendly hippie, but also I'll do a different video on how just like eco-friendliness and survival prepping goes hand in hand, because you want reusables. This is an electric lighter that you can recharge. You can use this your whole life. It will last you a lifetime, and it's also long, and it lights things, and you don't have to replace lighter fluid or anything like that. And then we also have magnesium rods and strikers to help with starting fires. There's other things you could add to this bag if you have lighter fluid, which could be dangerous depending on how you're storing it, so you want to be careful with that. But also just like the fire starter sticks, kindling stuff, if you have the space for that, you could add that to a bag or a basement collection or what have you. And then I have another knife in here that's also kind of like a multi-tool. And okay, so we've got a sleeping bag. We've got, this is a little tent, actually, a poncho, and then some emergency blankets wrapped up really small. They're probably not the fluffiest thing in the world, but they can keep you warm. This is the type of blankets that like you see people in hurricanes. I kind of want to say they're more tarpish, but like they're emergency blankets, and they're bundled up really small. There's 4 in here. Okay, what else do we have in here? We have, I just found these online. I don't know if they're good or not, survival food tabs. And I think these last at least 5 years. It might be, okay, no, this says best if used by August of 2046, so that's longer than 5 years. And this is May of 2047. So they're supposedly good for a long time. Do they taste great? Probably not. But I'm gonna be honest, I haven't tried them yet, and I definitely will in the future. Okay, we've got another knife here. You need a variety. People say 2 is 1 and 1 is none. You need different, that's why I have different types of water purifying tabs. I have different types of knives. The bigger ones are good for certain things. The smaller ones are good for certain things. And the reason why I have a tent and a sleeping bag and a poncho and blankets is because you need something to sleep under, in, and on. You're gonna sleep under the tent. You're gonna sleep possibly on a blanket or even on a sleeping bag, but you want something under you. You're gonna really be sleeping in the sleeping bag or in the poncho or in the blanket, but you need something to help pick you up off of the ground because that will drain your body heat if you're outside. Also, if you're hunkered down inside, you also want something to sleep under, in, and on if it's cold. So that's why I have this stuff in my basement, is because one, yes, I could run down to the basement and grab it and go if we're going somewhere, if we're going outside, if the house is not safe for whatever reason, but I want it in my basement because if there is a nuclear explosion and we can't run away and it's better to hunker down because the mushroom cloud was close and we heard the boom and we know how much time we have and it's 5 minutes, I'm going in the basement and we're getting covered up as much as we can, so we can avoid that radiation as much as possible. So that's why I have all of this stuff in my basement. That's why I have all of this stuff in my car, because you're gonna need all of this stuff in your house and on the go. I also have just scissors, and I do have some cash money because if we're still in this kind of current societal economic system, cash is still used now, so that's why I have it. And the reason I flashed my ones, because you don't want just like $100 bill, because what if someone is doing you a little favor and they don't have change? Are you really going to give them that $100 bill and risk not having it in the future for when you need a bigger favor? You want ones, fives, tens, 20s, 50s, hundreds, and you also don't want a lot, and you don't want it in an obvious place. You could spread it out, I don't know, but really in a survival situation, what's going to be more valuable, cash money or something to trade? They might need a sleeping bag. They might need a water filter, So then what else is in my basic survival bag? Because we're still all on this first bag. We got a flashlight. We've got some whistles. And these are simple. I have 3 whistles in this bag because, you can give one to your mom, your brother, your kid, whoever you need to give a whistle to. And then it could be a comfort thing for a kid. It could be good for navigating if you know about it. It's a glow-in-the-dark constellation bandana map. Most people might not want that. And then I have a compass as well. So this is more of the navigation bag. And then we have signal flares. This is what falls in, this is like navigation and communication, I call it. These are flares if you need to signal somebody. These are the handheld ones. There's also flare guns you can get. But in this bag, I have the handheld ones. That's obviously if we're going outside. And then here, I debated if I wanted to show this or not, because this is like a cool idea that I came up with, is black light markers and then black light flashlights. And then these are outdoor post-it notes that are like, I'd imagine more waterproof. But so if you have a spot with someone on your house that you want to write on, or a spot that you want to go to and you want to write a message that other people can't see, but if that person knows to look in that spot, they can. And then if they have a black light, they can see the message you wrote, like, hey, so-and-so, me and this person went to this location, you can meet us there. or, you know, I left you a bag in this location or something like that. If, you know, there's people that you have a plan with and they know the spots where you might write something with a black light marker, they can go there with their flashlight and vice versa. So that, all of that, it makes the backpack very heavy. I am thinking about taking some stuff out to make it lighter, but it's my basement backpack, so I care more about having lots of stuff in it than having it be super light. That's what's in my survival bag. And now we'll get into what's in the med pack. So if you're someone who takes like prescription medication, you're gonna wanna make sure that you have that. But I feel like everyone should have some iron, I have in this one vitamin A, B, C, D, and then potassium plus iodine. And potassium plus iodine, you're gonna wanna take if there is nuclear fallout, if there's radiation in the air, you're gonna wanna take potassium plus iodine. There's lots of other good supplements you can have too, like magnesium, stuff like that, or healing herbs that could come in handy. But like I said, especially if you're someone who has a certain medication you take, if you're someone who takes like what's it even called, like ibuprofen, aspirin, Aleve, Advil, stuff like that, you can put that in there. I'm someone who I don't really take stuff like that. If I was in a survival situation though, maybe I would if I got sick or something, but I don't know. Also having like a anti, or what's it called, when you get an infection, stuff to get rid of the infection, those type of pills, you could put some of those in there if you have extra. I know when I had mastitis, I had something like that to get rid of that infection, so I have that in a different med pack. Will it still be good in a few years? Who knows, but it's in there just in case for a survival situation. And then we've got like Q-tips for all sorts of different stuff. We have, these are stretchable bandages, more clothy material. Band-aids, these ones are still in the box because it's organized like that. Would I like to put them in Ziplocs instead? Potentially, but also that's some cardboard to start a fire if need be. More band-aids in this loose leaf. And then this is like medical tape and gauze. These are gauze. And then these are some cool things. This is a snake and insect bite kit. And then it's like stuff to take it out. Obviously, in a survival situation, if someone you love got bit by a snake, you could suck the venom out and spit it out. But this is like to remove like the thing from the bee, stuff like that, is all in this cool kit. This is a blood typing kit to check to see what your blood type is. Because if you don't know your blood type, you need to know your blood type. That's something you need to know. Also, something that's good for survival packs that I have in my car one and that I will be adding to my other ones is basic information. Like mom, Sydney, Alexandria, whatever, blood type, birth date. You don't want to put your age because then you're going to be changing it every year. You can put your age in a picture of you so they know which one is you if, you know, you update this yearly. I would love to do that in the future. Currently, I don't have time for that, so I just have my birth date, female, blood type. There's other important information you could put on there, like if you're diabetic or something like that. You need to have that on that information card. So that's good to have. And then what else do we have? I have a blood glucose sugar monitor checking thing in case someone who's diabetic needs to check their sugar. I also have this, I got it. It's kind of a long story as to how I acquired it, but you put it on your finger, you can check your heart rate, your lung breathing level and things like that. But yeah, this is a blood sugar checking kit. So this is in case you have to do like a surgery or stitches. These are sterile scalpels. And then these are surgical stitches. And then this is bleed stop. in case you get shot or something and you need to like clot the blood to make the bleeding stop. And this stuff I keep near the top of my med pack. And the snake and insect bite kit. Those are the things I keep near the top. I have it organized, like I said, because there's so much in a backpack, it has to be organized. So I know this goes in the back just because of the size of it, and then the Band-Aids, they're standing up, and then on top of that stuff is the stuff that if I need it super quick, I need to get to. Also, I keep the gloves near the top. I believe they're actually in the extra pack because it's such a big bag, but the disposable sterile gloves I keep near the top. So first thing I can do is, like, if your hands are dirty, you're gonna want to put those gloves on first, or something to like sterilize your hands with up there first, so you can do that before you touch all of this stuff and get all of this dirty, especially in the med pack. That's important because it's medical stuff that we want to keep sterile. So the rest of the stuff in the med pack, this isn't very medical. This is the brand of cloth diapers that my son used to wear when he was still in diapers, but this is just a wet bag, dry bag, whatever you want to call it. It's got 2 zippers. You can throw wet clothes in, or just really anything in that you need to throw into this bag. So this bag is empty. I have like period panties, reusable period underwear for girls, or if you have like a kid in diapers, those bags are going to come in handy. You also want to have the diapers there, or you want to have the period underwear there, and you need some method of washing it, but that comes in handy. So this is mosquito spray, mosquito patches, the natural stuff, not the toxic shit. I'm not a Vaseline type person, but I did throw that in there. Numbing cream with some lidocaine in it, and alcohol prep patches. I keep this near the top. So this is like a baby nose snot sucker, a baby last swab ear cleaner thing. This is a random, I think this is for your wrist or your ankles, like some kind of compression thing. And then I just have this old, I threw it in here because once again, it's my basement pack, so it's okay if it's a bit heavier for this. An old kit with some just basic hygiene, nail clipping, things like that stuff in it. Then I have an adult last swab ear cleaner thing, calamine lotion. I used to use that for bug bites all the time. A reusable razor, safety razor to shave yourself. Toothbrushes, toothpaste, small medical scissors, tweezers. That's important. What if you get a sliver or something? Nail clippers, shampoo bar, soap bar, conditioner bar, because the conditioner can also be used as shaving cream. And that's it for the med pack. That's it. It's a ton of shit to jam in there. But let's talk about what's in the extra pack now. So in this extra pack, I actually have some things that are usually in my med pack. These are the regular Q-tips, and the other one I had baby Q-tips, cotton balls, because you never know when you're going to need something to apply some sort of ointment to or something like that. They're great for a lot of stuff. Gloves, they wouldn't fit in the med pack. So now the stuff that's like in my other extra packs is aluminum foil, many uses. These are, I forget the real term, but they're like scarves in case, this is like what people wear in the desert to keep sand out of their eyes. It can be used for that. What if there's just like a lot of shit flying in the air, ash, like something like that? You need something to kind of cover. Also, these can help to stop bleeding. Like this is in like you could call this a sterile bag, a Ziploc bag that's keeping stuff out. So these are nice and clean. You can use this, if you need like a clean fabric. You can also keep extra clothes. In this pack, I actually don't have extra clothes in my car. In all my other extra packs, I do. I definitely should put some extra clothes in my basement though. But you want to have them in Ziploc bags so they don't get all wet. So then we have some pencils, pencil sharpener, and a big notebook to write stuff down if you need to. You know, if you're gonna make a plan for an escape route or something like that and you need to write it down, there's lots of stuff you might have to write down so you don't forget in a shit hits the fan situation. This is a mini sewing kit. I should learn how to sew better. I know a little bit, but that's many purposes. I mean, one, to like fix clothing and stuff, but also if you needed to use this for medical purposes, you could if you really had to. Then we have these are leather gloves, secondhand. Some glow sticks, because they might come in handy for seeing stuff, for signaling, for who knows what. Zip ties. And this bag, there's a ton of stuff in. So there's screws, there's nails, there is very sturdy, like a rope-like material. There is, what is this? A bunch of different clips, the carabiner hooks, paper clips, what's that one? Safety pins. There's other stuff in here too. Oh, this is a survival fishing kit with just some basic fishing stuff in it. Some super glue. Yeah, oh yeah, that's like called paracord or survival cord, the super tough stuff. Oh, and then there's this thing. Probably shouldn't say on YouTube, but I will. It's a plumbing tool, and a lot of the times if you go to the side of a building, you can actually, like, I guess you could call it siphoning their water. You can have access to their water if you hook that onto there. And in a survival situation, you might have to do that. You need water. Water is the most important thing to have because you're gonna die without water in 3 days. Then we also have like tape, duct tape, Gorilla tape. Then I have some batteries. I also have rechargeable batteries. So this is the only bag I have these batteries in, once again, because it's my heavier packs. But I'll show you guys in a minute, the rechargeable batteries that I have in a box as well. And then these are porta potty chemicals. I should really try these out, but if you're gonna be hunkered down in your basement, especially, that can kill you, is having poor hygiene, having poop, feces, pee, like in the same area. If the toilet can't flush, you need to get that stuff out of your environment somehow. If you're outside, it's easier because you can take a dump and then go somewhere else. But if you're all stuck in your basement, that is going to eventually get to you if you don't have a way to, like, if you can't flush your toilet or something like that, if, you know, the power goes out, the water goes out, whatever. You need to put something down, like kitty litter. There's different herbs and stuff you can put over it. Even wood chips, like a layer, it sounds gross, but it's something you have to think about and talk about. Layer of poop, layer of something, and then adding more. But I think this is mainly to turn like liquid pee into more of a solid. But you need some kind of solution for going to the bathroom, because that's what you need to think about is shelter, water, going to the bathroom, food, and hygiene. That's all really, really important in a survival situation. So now I'll show you this food pack real quick. We're not going to go over all the different meals that I have in here, but just to give you guys an idea, this is from Four Patriots. This is Hardy Strongoff. I'm not great at pronouncing that. Fireside stew. There's just like some good meals in here. I am not a fan of basic white sugar, but I know some people who are diabetic and you do need a certain amount of sugar in your diet. So I do just have like basic sugar, basic salt, because you need salt. Salt can put out fires. Salt is good for witchy protection, and you need salt, you need sodium in your diet to a certain extent. And then we have some of these survival food tabs. Some of these are emergency food bars, lemon flavor. Oh, these are the 5-year shelf life. So in a couple of years, I will be trying these to see how they taste. I'm sure they last a little bit longer. This is just an empty Ziploc bag. because you do want like some empty sterile bags too, because eventually if you're in a situation like this, you're gonna eventually need extra, just like Ziploc bags and things like that. And then we have a can opener, a couple, oh, this is only one pot holder. Usually most of my bags have two. And then there's like a multi, like knife, fork, spoon, all in one type situation thing. And then this is where it's gonna get interesting to explain. Okay, so this is just something that you can cook with. You can heat up water in this to boil it. You can cook some food in. It's just like a basic like pot slash kind of like a teapot looking thing. It's like a little mini kettle thing. Can come in handy. That's what you can cook food in. Like, I don't have lots of like cooking stuff in my basement, but I have that and I can cook everything in that if I need to. And then this, woo! Here's another, this isn't as good as the other ones, but this just came with this thing. It's another fork spoon thing. That one, oh, it does have like a little tiny knife on it. So this is a water bottle, and then it has this as well. You can cook food in either of these. I mean, they're stainless steel. They would be fine to cook in. So I'm going to show you guys what else I have in my basement stash in a second, but I was just going through thinking about what I had in other backpacks that I don't have in these ones. Walkie-talkies, bungee cords, I do have in the basement as well, actually. And then I have like a world atlas, a local map, clothes, socks, underwear, shirt, shorts, pants, sweatshirt, a bunch of seeds, which I do have in the basement as well, phone chargers, car chargers, wall chargers, solar panel things that you can convert energy with, which we'll get into in a minute because I have some in the basement as well. Different types of bug repellent things. Instead of period underwears, if you're a girl, I do have moon cups, but menstrual cups, I've never really tried to use those, to be honest. I thought I was gonna, never ended up happening because I like the underwear so much. In all of my bags, I do have these, I have period underwear in them as well. And then in my car, I have boots, some good boots, because what if something happens when I'm out and about in my car and I'm wearing my slide flip-flops? It's not gonna cut it year round if we're in a situation like this for a long time. You need some boots. Can wear boots in the summer, doesn't matter. I also have this different, it's a little mini, it can turn into a stove, but it's a place to have a controlled fire. If you don't want lots of other people seeing your smoke, or if you're just in a environment where it's gonna be hard to make a fire on the ground or something. This is just a thing you can have a controlled fire in the bottom in, and then cook a very small amount of food on top. So I have this in my car. And then I have this jump start charger thing in case there's not another car to give me a jump start, in case it's just my car alone in the wilderness and all I need is a jump start. You can use this thing that it comes with and hook the other set of cables up to that and hook this up to your car. Or actually, maybe it's just one set of cables you hook up to your car, and it's this like big battery power bank that is what gives you the jump. So that's very important to have in your car. So now we'll get into what else is in my basement. Okay, so I do have a bunch of diapers in case, cloth diapers that you can rewash, and then I have a portable like manual big laundry thing that I totally forgot to bring up here because it's so big, but that's what I would wash them in. Solar shower. I do need to like disinfect it with vinegar first because I haven't used it yet. I got this from when I was living in my car, but I ended up just going to houses to take showers. I didn't actually end up using my solar shower, but that's what I got it for, was because I thought I was going to live in my car longer than I did. And then these I got from from a guy I've done various jobs for throughout the years. He has a rave clothing, well, he had a rave clothing business, so he gave me some hydro packs. So I've got those in my basement that you can like put a bunch of water in and wear as a backpack. A lot of people do that at music festivals and whatnot, but you can use them for like survival gear too. And then this is a collapsible bucket. So this you could use for human waste, for going to the bathroom. You could use for a variety of things. But this, I just think this is cool because instead of having a big bucket taking up space, I mean, you could stack buckets into each other, and that's what I will do. Eventually, that's at like the top of my wish list is buckets to have to go to the bathroom in, potentially in the basement. But this is, it's just nice to have a collapsible one. So then I've got some gardening seeds and gardening gloves. I've got a solar powered blender. This was on my list of things to invent / create, but it's already been invented. So you know I got myself one because I mean, one, I used to make all of my son's baby food. I made it myself, pureed with a blender. So that's why. I also used to have smoothies every morning. I would like to start doing that again. Smoothies are very important, especially if you're having a hard time eating other stuff in a survival situation and you need nutrients. You might need to make yourself a smoothie instead of eating it like that. You might have to have something done to your body where you can't eat solids for a while. You need something like this. You could mush it with your hand, totally, but this is such a big help, especially if you don't have much energy. Then we have solar panel. Got a few other ones of these as well. I'll show you in a second. This is an electric, just like little mini stove. And so it's good to have an electric one if you can have like power somehow through solar panels or something else like that. But I would also like to have like a butane one or something like that if electricity wasn't working and I couldn't figure out how to get the solar panels to work, or I just didn't have access to it. It would be good to have another form of energy powered stove as well. Obviously you could just use a cauldron over a fire, but like I said, it's good to have lots of different options if you have the space to store those options and the money to get those options. So these are like the Patriot Power cells, and I'm not sponsored by them, but I do have a lot of their gear because I do like it. This is a solar powered flashlight, couple of those, and then I have a solar powered lantern that I'm not going to take out of this box because then all of the little stuff in it will fall over. But there's a bunch of different kinds of batteries. I got like AAA, AA, other types of batteries as well. This is like the little charging thing for it, so there's lots of those because I ordered a lot of them. And then this is another water purifier, but it's the 4 Patriots brand. This is a collapsible shovel, so it can extend, it can be small. Also has a compass on the end of it, so that's pretty dang cool. And then just more types of seeds, vegetable seeds, herb seeds, because that's going to be important as well. So yeah, I actually think that is everything. Obviously, there's other stuff that would come in handy in a survival situation, but I mean, we did cover the basics of water. You just need to find a water source, but we do have that tool that can get water from certain buildings if need be. You know, I have some, really they're more like swamps nearby, but there's some ponds. I live in Michigan. There's lakes all around me, but a lot of them are sort of far away. If I had a car, it'd be extremely easy. Like the nearest lake is like maybe 7-8 minutes away from me in a car drive, but on foot, that's a lot longer. But so there's water around me. That's why I don't have water in big containers. I also am very picky with my water. Obviously, in a survival situation, I wouldn't be, but you got to think of water, you got to think of food. I have a lot of the 72-hour survival food kits. That's what I give people as gifts sometimes because I got a bunch on a sale from them. And I have the other food as well from a larger kit. And that's just like the survival meals ready to eat. where you just need boiling water, or it's just ready to go automatically, and they're good for like 25 years, most of the stuff. Some is only 5, some is 10, some is 15. Like I said, I have my phone sitting on more food right here, but it's going to be important to have some in your basement. And it's hard to store food in your car, especially if you live somewhere like I do, where we have hot summers and cold winters. But you need to be careful about how you're storing certain things that are flammable and food. But then it's also important to have some form of shelter. I have a tent, and I have air mattresses. Those are like upstairs in my bedroom, and some are downstairs, but they're so big I didn't bring them out. But I have those little mini tents in the backpacks. If I can't carry the big tent, I would rather bring the mini tent with some of my other stuff that I have, but the big tent would be nice to have just to set up in your basement if it's cold and the power goes out during the winter or something. Or if there's a nuclear explosion, it would be cool to be in a tent to prevent some more of that radiation from getting to you. But you got to think about if you're hunkering down, if you're going in your car, or if you're going out into the wilderness. Having clothes, having shoes and socks is going to be really important. And then having a form of navigation and communication, and fire. I mean, fire is super important because you need that for your food, you need that to stay warm. But having some form of communication with people so you can build that community is very important. I love talking about this stuff on YouTube because it gives me the opportunity to find more of a community. And I know that I've been talking a lot lately about having these self-sufficient communities. Let's continue to like actively take action towards that instead of just talking about it. Like, I already have a lot of people who would be down for this community, but we need to figure out what materials we're going to use to build buildings and structures and homes that can withstand wild weather that is coming soon. My last video that I posted was on wild weather. I have a couple more that I'm going to post before this video that I just have to edit and post. But so we talked about that recently, wild weather, but it's not just about wild weather. It's about diseases, it's about pandemics, infections, health. That's why I have a whole pack dedicated to medical gear, because that's a big concern when you're in a situation like this. And I thought about a lot of different things. I thought about things to clot blood. I thought about things in case you have to have surgery. I thought about different supplements, obviously bandages and stuff, but like numbing cream, snake bites, basic hygiene stuff like soap, just all the types of things you would need. But it's good to have a compass. I realized looking at this stuff, I need to add a compass in 1 or 2 more bags. But if you have supplies like this, you do need to know what you have. Like I said, you need to have a document that says what you have so you know where it is if you're looking for something. But what's really important is having directions to certain things. If you have a tent but you don't know how to set it up, that's not going to do you any good. If you have a water filter but you don't know how to use it, that's not going to do you any good. And that's some stuff that I know that I have to work on, is my actual survival skills. The actual skills are going to be way more important than any of this gear. It's going to be more important than all of this gear combined. It is just some basic knowledge of survival skills and or how to use the equipment that you have. If you have a knife but you don't know how to get the blade out, it's not going to do you any good. You guys get the point. But also if you have the instructions for certain gear that you have, that's important. But also just having some basic things. I want to put together a survival binder. I'm actively working on it, of certain recipes that I would want to have, just everything so it's not on electronics. I have lots of YouTube videos. I have lots of personal pictures and memories and stuff on flash drives in my house. That's a memorable thing I would want to have with me in a survival situation. One, honestly, is cool stuff that you would want to bring with you. You can put in your survival bag as well. But also, it's important to have stuff printed out of certain survival skills, recipes, how to track certain animals, just what exactly to do about the radiation, how long it's going to take you before you can go outside, things like that you might not remember in your brain. You need to print out so you have it on paper and you can look back on how to perform certain medical things, how to deliver a baby if there is a pregnant woman. In The Walking Dead, in every apocalypse TV show, there's always someone who's pregnant and they always have to have the baby, and a lot of the times they end up dying. How can you do that? How can you perform surgery on someone? How can you amputate a limb if you have to? Like, how do you do those things? If you don't remember that all in your brain, you need to print it out. Or even if you remember it, you still want to print it out so someone else can do it to you if they have to, you know? What happens if you're the one with the knowledge and you die and you want the rest of your group to survive? They need to have that knowledge too somehow. There's so much stuff to think about. And then also, you know, your blood type, things that you would want. It's tricky because there's some things that you don't want strangers to know about you if they get your bag, but then there's also things you want strangers to know about you if they get your bag. You know what I mean? You don't know what people's intentions are always going to be. If you need help, you want someone to know your blood type. If you don't need help and you don't want someone to hurt you, you don't want them to know certain information about you. That's where it gets tricky, but you're going to have to decide for you in your situation, what do you want? What personal information do you want to put on this laminated card? Like I said, we got stuff in Ziploc bags. If you have papers, important things, you want that laminated. If it's like a manual in a Ziploc bag, that's cool. But if it's like your ID card or something like that, or your kids' information and their blood type so strangers can help them if you get hurt or something and they find them, you want that laminated. If there's like survival information that's important and it's like you can laminate it, then you should laminate it. So I think that's all we're going to talk about in this video. I'm sure it was probably longer than I wanted it to be, but like I knew this was going to be a lengthy one because there's survival gear you need to think about getting. And let me know in the comments if you saw a certain brand and you're like, Sid, I know a brand that's way better. You can let me know about that. If there's something you think I should add to these bags, you can let me know in the comments. Or if there's something you think I could take out of this bag and replace with something else, or if you think it's just totally unnecessary, let me know in the comments. Let's help each other out, give each other's ideas for, you know, what we should put in these survival bags. So let me know what you guys think of my gear. This was a video that I didn't honestly think I was really ever gonna make because I don't talk about the specifics of what I have with most people. But I do want to help others and inspire you guys to get some stuff ready in bags for you. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you for listening. Stay safe out there and stay excited about this. Don't let this put you in fear ever. Be excited because this is a freaking revolution and a revelation. It's like we're walking into New Earth. New Earth is happening. We are in New Earth. We are in the creation of it. It's already here. We just have to step into it on a more spiritual note. But there might be some chaotic situations that happen before we can like live in what felt like ancient Lemuria again. Like before we can live in full-blown peace and bliss again, there might be some more wild weather. There might be some like zombie apocalypse or something. Like who even knows? I always thought that was so out there. Never understood why that was like, you know, pushed in the media. But now I'm like, after COVID and just Ebola even and stuff like that, I could see how that could actually possibly happen to a certain degree. But be excited. Don't be in fear about this. We gotta be excited. I remember when my brother told me, like, I think everyone secretly wants there to be an apocalypse. And that was a huge turning point for me because I was like, oh my gosh, you're right. Everyone secretly does want there to be an apocalypse just to spice things up because it would be exciting. Like, obviously you don't want that to happen, but a part of you, like, is thinking about that and does kind of want to live in, like, that apocalyptic movie, you know, that apocalyptic TV show. And that makes me think it's gonna happen. Of course, we would want to walk into this new earth, like, more calmly, but the way things are looking, it's good to just be prepared Have hopeful and good and positive intentions and expectations, but like also just kind of be prepared for whatever. And like I said, this could be an awesome camping trip one day if you don't ever use this for survival gear. I was just thinking about some of the things that I have on my wish list, like a grow light to grow food indoors, dirt, soil, pots, or like beds to like grow food in. Because I have the seeds, but you got to grow them somewhere. Obviously, you could outdoors during certain times of the year, but if you had to grow food indoor during the winter, you need a grow light, things like that as well. Also, just having like, I don't know, trash bags, other bags, toilet paper, something like that. Other basic things like that. Peace out.